Today, we delve into some of the most grotesque and chilling tales of human hunger and the obsession with consumption. From a man whose bizarre cravings led him to devour everything from live animals to inedible objects, to a notorious figure whose appetite became a deadly force. These stories are not for the faint of heart. We'll explore the twisted depths of human desire and the disturbing lengths to which some have gone to satisfy an insatiable hunger. Get ready for a journey into the grotesque as we uncover the real-life horror behind some of the world's most shocking cases of human appetite and those that have gone terribly wrong. Welcome to Beneath the Shadows. I'm your host, Travis Fenn, and today we are going to be exploring some of the most disturbing stories of human hunger, literally. We're talking about appetites today. We're talking about individuals whose appetites defied all logic and reason. People driven by an uncontrollable craving that went far beyond ordinary human need. From a man who ate everything in sight, including animals, humans, and even inedible objects, to a man who devoured glass and metal for amusement. These stories are as disturbing as they are fascinating. So join me today as we uncover the mysteries of these real-life figures who made hunger their most terrifying obsession. Other than that, please go follow the social media pages. There is TikTok, there is Instagram, and there is Patreon. Please follow all of them. Beneath the Shadows Podcast on TikTok and Instagram, and just Beneath the Shadows on Patreon. So please take a moment and go and check those out. It means the world to me, and all of your support is great. Welcome back to listeners who have listened before. Welcome to new people who are coming and listening for the first time. I really hope you can enjoy the show. It's I'm not perfect by any means. I'm not someone who has done a lot of entertaining for a living, and I'm not always the most gregarious person, but I'm really trying my best to make these shows interesting and to make them information based and as accurate as possible. And I appreciate you being here, so thank you so much. So sit back, grab a snack if you dare, and let's venture beneath the shadows. We start today with Tarrare. Born in 1772, a few hundred years earlier than I had just stated. Born in 1772 in Lyon, France. His appetite was ravenous even as a child. By his teenage years, he could consume an entire quarter of a steer, weighing roughly as much as he did, in one day. Just starting off the bat, that's fucking nuts. Fucking 40-pound child or some shit. He's a fucking teenager. He's probably like, 80 pounds, 100 pounds. Who the fuck knows? A quarter of a steer. He's like, I could eat all that one day. One sit and let's go. Cut me up some fucking steaks and keep them coming. His family couldn't afford to keep up with his prodigious hunger, and so, as a teenager, Tarrare was forced out of his family home. He wandered the French countryside, joining up with a band of thieves and prostitutes to survive, begging and stealing food where he could. Eventually, he found a place as the warm-up act for a traveling charlatan. In his act, Tarrare's feats of consumption were nothing short of shocking. He would swallow corks, stones, live animals, and even entire baskets of apples without hesitation. So yeah, live animals were like rats and eels and snakes and things of that nature. He's a fucking weirdo, dude. Unfortunately, in some way, I guess not unfortunately, but also he's not alone in this. There's plenty of people during his time and since then that have had eating issues and that have had eating disorders of some sort that really took hold of them and that really forced them to do things that were a little odd, a little uncommon, a little strange. Some word for it. There's a word out there. When he moved to Paris in 1788, he quickly became a street performer, thrilling and horrifying his audiences with his ability to consume inedible objects. His act went awry only once, leading to a severe intestinal blockage that required treatment at the Hotel Dieu Hospital. Hotel Dieu Hospital, where he was dosed with a powerful laxative to clear the obstruction. Ever the showman, he offered to eat the surgeon's watch and chain as a demonstration of his skill. But the surgeon sternly warned him that he'd be dissected if he attempted it. He's like, yeah, what? You see what I do for a living, Doc? Let me see that watch and chain that you got there. It's like a really nice-ass watch or something, nice-ass gold something that his wife got for him or some shit. Probably not back in that day, but still, something nice he's got from someone, higher up, some nobility that gave it to him. And he's like, I fucking swear, if you eat this, Tarrare, if you eat this fucking thing, I'll cut your ass open. I'll dissect your ass. I'll get it out. I'll get it out before it even fucking gets through your system. Tarrare's physical characteristics were as strange as his appetite. Though he ate enormous quantities, he remained slim and of average build, weighing around 100 pounds at age 17. His face was distinctive. His mouth, abnormally wide, could stretch to roughly 4 inches between his jaws. And that's crazy to think about, too. I mean, just doing it myself, just thinking about this myself and trying to, see how much room I have between my jaws. Maybe at most, if I really fucking push it, 2 inches, maybe 2 inches. His double that. I mean, I don't even think mine's 2 inches. It's probably 1.5 inches at most. But still, he's at least 4 inches. That's fucked up. His teeth were heavily stained, and his lips were almost invisible. So thin-ass lips and just this huge, monstrous jaw. When he was hungry, his skin hung loosely from his body, but after a large meal, his abdomen swelled to resemble a balloon. His body emitted a constant pungent odor described as intolerable at a close range, an odor that worsened dramatically after he'd eaten, causing his cheeks and eyes to become bloodshot. This change was accompanied by belching and an unsettling swallowing motion of his jaws. So it did some weird jaw grinding, clacking, swallowing noises, and his body just smelled like fucking trash, garbage, onions, and rotting food and stuff. Something that was just so intolerable because all the garbage, the complete nonsense that he fucking ate. In addition to his odor and unsettling appearance, Tarrare's body was warm to the touch, and he sweated profusely, as you would imagine someone who's just stuffing their body full of fucking trash would do. He suffered from chronic diarrhea, also not surprising, which was reportedly fetid beyond all conception. Despite his enormous food intake, he rarely vomited or gained any noticeable weight. When the French Revolution began in 1789, Tarrare enlisted in the French Revolutionary Army. However, standard military rations fell pitifully short of his needs. Even after receiving quadruple rations, he scavenged through garbage, gutters, and discarded rations to stave off hunger. Eventually, due to exhaustion from malnutrition, he was admitted to a military hospital. Here, his physicians observed his condition with a mix of scientific curiosity and horror. Tarrare's immense appetite led to a series of experiments conducted by Dr. Corville and Pierre-François Percy. In one session, he ate an entire meal intended for 15 laborers in a single sitting, followed by 4 gallons of milk. Holy fuck, dog, shit, tits, balls. 4 gallons of milk? Fucking 1 gallon of milk, I'm puking my brains out. Love me some chocolate milk. Could maybe drink a gallon of that if I needed to. Shit, though, my stomach would be trash at some point after that. 4 gallons? I'd be garbage. On another occasion, he consumed a live cat. Holy balls. Jeez. I didn't, God. Tearing it apart with his teeth, drinking its blood, and swallowing everything except its bones. Just picking them. I'm just sitting, tearing this cat apart, picking the meat off the bones, and just licking them clean and shit. Just throws the bone after he sucks all the fucking meat off of it. What a psychopath. Other animals, snakes, lizards, and puppies. God, bro, not the puppies. Not the cats and the puppies. Come on. Met similar fates. Plus, he would even swallow eels whole, as I had mentioned, snakes and eels. Oh, wow. This guy, dude, I'll tell you what. Blowing my mind. Some of these people are like, what makes you want to do that? I mean, him, at least it's food stuff, but some of the other people is what the fuck are you eating? What the hell is wrong with, what is in your mind that makes you want to eat that? The shiny shit looks fucking good or something? I don't know. Anyway. After several months that he spent as an experimental case, military authorities began to press Tarrare to be returned to active duty. Dr. Corville was keen to continue his investigations into Tarrare's eating habits and digestive system, and approached General Alexandre de Beauharnais with a suggestion that Tarrare's unusual abilities and behavior could be put to military use. A document was placed inside a wooden box, which was in turn fed to Tarrare. 2 days later, the box was retrieved from his excrement, with the document still in legible condition. Corville proposed to Beauharnais that Tarrare could thus serve as a military courier, carrying documents securely through enemy territory with no risk of them being found if he was searched. Tarrare was called on by Beauharnais to demonstrate his abilities before a gathering of the commanders of the Army of the Rhine. Having swallowed the box successfully, Tarrare was given a wheelbarrow filled with 30 pounds of raw bull's lungs and liver as a reward, which he immediately ate in front of the assembled generals. Just 30 pounds of fucking raw bull's lungs and livers. 30 pounds downed it after he ate this fucking box with like a little message in it. He's like, yeah, I can eat everything. Watch me eat all of it. Following this successful demonstration, Tarrare became employed officially as a spy of the Army of the Rhine. Although General de Beauharnais was convinced of Tarrare's physical capacity to carry messages internally, he was concerned about his mental state and initially reluctant to entrust him with significant military documents. Tarrare was ordered as his first assignment to carry a message to a French colonel imprisoned by the Prussians near Neustadt. He was told that the documents were of great military significance, but in reality, de Beauharnais had merely written a note asking the colonel to confirm that the message had been received successfully, and if so, to return a reply of any potentially useful information about Prussian troop movements. Tarrare crossed Prussian lines under cover of darkness, disguised as a German peasant. Unable to speak German, he soon attracted the attention of local residents, who alerted the Prussian authorities, and he was captured outside Landau. A strip search found nothing suspicious on his person, and despite being whipped by Prussian soldiers, he refused to betray his mission. Brought before the local Prussian commander, General Zweigli, he again refused to talk and was imprisoned. After 24 hours of captivity, Tarrare relented and explained the scheme to his captors. He was chained to a latrine, and eventually, 30 hours after being swallowed, the wooden box emerged. Can't even imagine crapping out a fucking wooden box, just splinters all over. I'm guessing it was sanded down pretty well, but god damn, fucking that sounds awful. Sounds like something that would give you hemorrhoids or some shit. Zweigli was furious when the documents, which Tarrare had said contained vital intelligence, transpired to be de Beauharnais' dummy message, and Tarrare was taken to the gallows, and the noose was placed around his neck. They did like a fake dummy mock execution of Tarrare. They didn't actually end up killing him. Some other sources state that General Zweigli never actually got the box, as Tarrare had the presence of mind to recover and eat the stool containing it before it could be seized by the Prussians. Which, I mean, you think that if that actually happened, if those sources were correct, that they would just leave him chained to the latrine until he crapped it out again or use the bathroom again, and the box reemerged for a second time. It's not going to not reemerge. It'll come out at some point. At the last minute, Zweigli relented, and Tarrare was taken down from the scaffold, giving a severe beating and released near the French lines. Don't know why they didn't kill him. You think that he's a traitor of some sort and they would take him out, but maybe not. Maybe they thought he was a civilian and they were just they didn't want to kill. I don't know. Didn't want to kill certain people. Maybe he seemed like he was unstable. They didn't want to kill someone who was, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, why they didn't kill him right then and there, but his life goes on. At this point, as many people would be if they went through the same situation as Tarrare, he was desperate to escape military life, so he sought a cure for his relentless appetite. Treatments of laudanum, wine vinegar, and tobacco pills proved ineffective, because those are all garbage treatments. Here, take some laudanum, which is like fucking heroin and fucking opioids, sorry. Some sort of opioid. It's some sort of like heroin derivative, opium derivium. Can't talk. Derivative. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's something to do with opium is what laudanum is. Wine vinegar. Don't know why vinegar is going to fucking cure your insatiable appetite, maybe make you feel sick or something you don't want to eat. And tobacco pills. Same thing. What the fuck's a tobacco pill going to do other than make you maybe feel a little like high-ish, give you a little high, little cool down, good old downer that tobacco can be. I don't know if this tobacco was heavy in nicotine like ours is nowadays, but I'm guessing it is. Guessing it was. It was probably all the same shit. Probably has more garbage in it now. It was probably a little bit cleaner back then, but probably still trash. Also proving ineffective was a strict diet of soft-boiled eggs. He snuck out at night to scavenge through rubbish heaps, fight stray dogs for He snuck out at night to scavenge through rubbish heaps, fight stray dogs for rotting scraps of meat, and consume offal. Offal's like the intestines and other organs that aren't normally eaten from animals that are kind of tossed and left to rot and, meat dumps and shit. Stuff that stray dogs or like vultures would be fucking eating on, be happy to have. He's like, this is awesome. Something that would normally, make most people pretty damn sick. He is super, super into it. His behavior became even more disturbing as he drank from patients who were being bloodletted and allegedly attempted to consume corpses from the hospital morgue. This guy, he's like, I can't get enough food. There's not enough meat out here. I'm going to start eating these fucking bodies. These fucking people who are dead. Who cares about them anymore? They're dead. They don't need this fucking body. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to eat their body. What would you start with? If you were to eat someone's body, what piece are you going for? I don't know. I might go for the ass. The ass might be a good chunk to take a nice bite out of. Either that or like I don't know, the bicep or something. You got to get something, maybe some love handles on someone, kind of fatty, kind of fleshy. Might be some good flavor on that. I probably a little too graphic there. A little too offline here. So hospital staff became increasingly wary of Tarrare, and when a 1-year-old child went missing, he was immediately suspected of eating this child and ejected from the hospital, though evidence of his guilt was never confirmed. He probably fucking ate this child. Most believe that he consumed the child and discarded the bones into the hospital trash that he dug through, which would make a lot of sense to me. A lot of sense. He's already trying to eat full-grown dead bodies. There's a small dead body that he could just take with him and fucking... It's like a snack, a walk-around snack. He can just, pull off the little arm, pull off the little leg, like... You ever have to, like, break a chicken wing off or a leg on a chicken wing, a drumstick off or something? You kind of, like, bend it and then, like, twist it and break it off. I think that's what he was doing with this child. That's what I picture him doing, is just walking around this hospital, sucks off the fucking meat from the bone, just tosses the bone to the side wherever he's at, in the woods, in the trash, and wherever, the fucking gutter. I don't know what he's doing. This caused me to dive into a whole fucking rabbit hole of cannibalism, murder, and other polyphagic acts. Wow. We'll look at some of these examples in just a bit, but first, let's finish up with Tarrare and dive into Charles Domery before heading into those. 4 years later, always want to say 19, whatever the date is, and I'm not talking about the 1900s. I'm way the fuck off. I don't know what the hell is my problem, but I can't read dates. Dates, words, speaking, all very tough for me to read and to say. Can't speak, can't read, doing this for who knows what reasons. I enjoy it. If you don't, that's okay. I guess I'll just keep doing it for myself then. And that's okay. 4 years later, in 1798, a weak and bedridden Tarrare reappeared in Versailles, suffering from what he believed was an intestinal obstruction caused by swallowing a gold fork. Despite his claims, the real despite his claims, the real cause of his declining health was advanced jeez. I can't, like I said, can't talk. I just told you guys. Despite his claims, the real cause of his declining health was advanced tuberculosis, or consumption, as it was referred to in that day. His condition deteriorated rapidly, and he died following a month of severe exudative diarrhea. Had blood and pus in it. God damn. His insides are fucking failing him. It's not surprising. The corpse rotted quickly. The surgeons at the hospital refused to dissect it. Tessier, however, wanted to find out how Tarrare's intestines differed from those of a normal person. He was also curious as to whether there was a gold fork lodged inside of him. An autopsy revealed that his stomach, liver, and gallbladder were enlarged and filled with pus, so, like I said, failing beyond belief. His esophagus was abnormally wide, and his entire digestive system was marked by ulcers and abnormalities that remained medically inexplicable. Oh, and the fork was never located. I don't think there was a fork in his system. Maybe he thought he swallowed a fork, and he never did, or maybe he did and somehow it fucking was digested by his system or something. I really am not entirely sure on what happened. So with Tarrare now passing, we will look at someone who was probably both an enemy and an ally of Tarrare's at some point, a man named Charles Domery, or Domery. I think it's Domery, Domery. He was born in 1778 and later known as Charles Domers, was a Polish soldier renowned for his extraordinary and insatiable appetite, just as all of these people will be. Tarrare, Charles, Michel that we are going to talk about, and Jacques, the last person we will mention, and actually go through like a whole story of. Initially serving in the Prussian army during the War of the First Coalition, Domery found the army's rations were woefully insufficient. Desperate for sustenance, he just... I don't know why this is so funny to me. You like have loyalty to an army. You're like, we're fucking fighting the war. Let's get it. Desperate for sustenance, he defected to the French forces in exchange for food. He's like, if you fucking feed me more, I will do anything for you. I'll fight for you. I'll kill for you. I'll fucking blow your cock off. And we will, as long as you give me food, it'll be all right. His appetite, which bordered on the unbelievable, remained a defining trait throughout his military career. While serving near Paris in the French army, Domery reportedly consumed an astonishing 174 cats over the course of a year. That's over a cat every 2 days. He's eating fucking cats all the time. He's eating probably a cat every other day. At most. Sometimes he's eating 2 a day. He has to. There's no way that you're eating that many cats without eating 2 a day. I don't think he's fucking... man, I have 4 cats myself, my girlfriend and I, and like... sometimes joke and like, ha ha ha, we're having fucking Chinese for dinner. Get the cat. We're going to eat Chester tonight. It's not the funniest joke. It's kind of a stupid, stereotypical joke, but it's, ha ha, making jokes at my cat because he's more at the cat because he's fat than at fucking Chinese people for eating cats. Do what you need to do to fucking survive. But this guy, eating cats has been around for forever, I guess, these little fuckers. Sparing only their bones and skins. When traditional food was unavailable, he turned to eating grass and vegetation, consuming 4 to 5 pounds daily. No fucking food available. He's like, don't worry, I'll go hang out with the cows. I'm going to go and graze in the pasture and eat somewhere between 4 and 5 pounds of grass. Like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Despite his strong aversion to vegetables, he was not above resorting to unconventional sustenance. During his service aboard the French ship Hoche, Domery's appetite reached grotesque extremes. After a cannonball severed a crew member's leg, Domery attempted to eat the limb before horrified shipmates intervened and threw it overboard. So also, nowadays someone gets like their leg blown off or something. It's like, put that shit on ice, get it fucking to the hospital. Let's see if we can sew it back on and reattach this shit. He might, maybe, still be able to use it. Just maybe, if they can get immediate type of medical intervention. Fucking back then, it was just like, if you get your leg blown off, throw it in the water, throw it overboard. It's just a piece of fucking flesh we don't need around here anymore. So get rid of it. Why don't you just throw the guy over too at that point? I mean, he's gonna fucking, if he blew his fucking leg out, like, you have to tourniquet that real quick, or you're gonna bleed out pretty fucking fast. So don't know exactly, but I think it's hilarious. He's like, I'm gonna fucking, I need food. Let me eat this shit. And they're like, no, we're throwing it over. The sharks can have it, not you. In February of 1799, the host was captured by the British Royal Navy, and Domery, along with the rest of the crew, was interned at the Liverpool prison. His captors were astounded by his appetite, even on 10 times the standard prison's rations. Domery remained unsatisfied. Reports detail him consuming the prison cat. Fucking cats! I don't know why he liked cats so much. Leave the fucking pussy alone. Jesus Christ. At least 20 rats, and even candles when no other food was available. They used to make these like beef tallow candles or whatever the fuck it was. Tallow candles, and it's like some sort of beef fat, beef suet almost, that they would use to make these candles. So I guess it's like eating some lardy beef fat type of stuff, but still, so fucking weird. In one controlled experiment, Domery consumed 16 pounds of raw beef and cow's udders, along with 12 large tallow candles and 4 bottles of porter, all in a single day. So, like, the 12 candles and the 4 bottles of wine doesn't seem that crazy, or mead, or whatever the fuck porter is. I think it's wine, but it might be mead. That doesn't seem crazy. 16 pounds of raw beef and cow's udders, though, that's fucked up. Astonishingly, he showed no signs of illness, never vomited, and maintained a regular pulse and temperature throughout. Unlike Tarrare, like we had mentioned, would get fucking profusely sweaty, would be gross, would be fucking high pulse, just sweating his ass off. Never happened. Never happened with Charles Domery. He was very just boom, 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 did his shit, went on with his day. It never fucking affected him like that. Born in Bench, Poland, around 1778. I probably got that name wrong. It's B-E-N-C-E, or B-E-N-C-H-E, like bench with an E at the end. I'm guessing it's bench, like bench with a S-H sound, but probably wrong. It might be Benke? I don't know. I can't find the exact pronunciation of it. Benke? If it's Italian, like I could find an Italian word, but not a Polish word. Domery was one of 9 brothers, all of whom reportedly shared his unusual condition. Imagine having 9 kids that all have eating disorders, that all need extra fucking food. No way you're taking care of all of them. Either some are dying or you're getting rid of some of them. Especially back in that day. Some of them are probably dying, don't get me wrong. Definitely probably still getting rid of some, though. Despite his voracious eating habits, Domery was described as being in good health, of normal build, and notably tall for his time at 6 feet 3 inches. So, a little more standard now. It's still pretty tall. It's still in the higher, 5% of the world or whatever. But back in the day, that was like, you're a fucking giant, 6'3". That's like, you're dunking basketballs. You're fucking tall as the skyscrapers that are never around during that time. I guess there's probably some taller buildings, but not a ton of skyscrapers. With long brown hair, gray eyes, not green, gray. Just fucking dead eyes. I just picture that as like dead eyes. They probably looked pretty damn cool, but just dead eyes, gray eyes, just black fucking sinkhole eyes. And smooth skin, he presented a pleasant countenance and exhibited no signs of mental illness. Although illiterate, Domery was regarded as intelligent by his contemporaries. He displayed no outward signs of disease and was remarkably resilient, having survived an outbreak of smallpox in his youth along with the rest of his family. I have to imagine that if anyone in his family got smallpox, that someone probably died in his family. Maybe not, maybe 8 out of the 9 kids lived or something. Someone had to have died with smallpox because it was ravenous back in the day. It'd fucking take people out. Doctors noted peculiar patterns in his behavior. Domery would sweat profusely after going to bed at 8 p.m., lying awake for 1 to 2 hours before finally falling asleep. At 1 a.m., he would wake ravenous, consuming any available food or smoking tobacco if food was scarce. So he's like, maybe tobacco helped with his hunger. I don't know. Maybe it was is it an appetite suppressant? I'm not sure about that. I don't consume tobacco nowadays. Back in the day when I smoked cigarettes or, vaped or whatever with some nicotine, which isn't tobacco, I guess, but it's nicotine, never realized never used it or realized that it would be an appetite suppressant, but maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is. His hunger drove him to rise again at 5 or 6 a.m., sweating heavily. As he rose from bed, the sweating halted. So weird. So unlike Tarrare would fucking sweat profusely after eating all of this garbage that he ingested, but Domery here, he didn't actually sweat until he was sleeping. When he would sleep, he would fucking just sweat heavily, sweat profusely, and when he got up and, rose in the morning, the sweating would stop and halt, and his body would, cool back down and just level out, which, I mean, some people can kind of relate to. I can almost relate to, at nighttime, trying to sleep, get overly hot sometimes, overly hot, kind of sweaty, definitely at nighttime, just laying in a bed, but when I, awake, I'm not fucking sweating for the most part. Maybe if I do a lot of fucking drugs or something, drink too much, eat too much food, shit like that, I'll be fucking sweating a little bit, but like just regularly not sweating. Maybe when I'm sleeping though. All right, so now let's look at a little bit more of a couple more details, a little more information about Domery's life during this time, his life during the Prussian army, how he kind of evolved this eating habit, and how it emerged in his life. Domery's extraordinary appetite emerged early in his life. At age 13, he joined the Prussian army, like I mentioned. Frustrated by the meager rations, he defected to the French, surrendering to the commander in exchange for a melon. So he... fucking for one melon, he's like, I will switch, I will defect, I will be a fucking treasonous asshole. I will fucking, I will switch sides immediately for a goddamn melon. What kind of melon? Watermelon? Are you doing like a honeydew? Or is it like a cantaloupe of some sort? I wonder what kind of melon it was. He devoured the whole thing, rind included. His French commanders, intrigued by his condition, provided him with additional food rations, but even this proved insufficient to sate his hunger. He purchased food with his own pay and resorted to eating whatever he could find, including cats and grass. Jeez. Domery preferred raw meat, favoring bull liver when available. His peculiar habits shocked those around him, but did not impede his duties. Despite weaker than average muscles, he once marched 14 French leagues in a single day without issue, which is about 25 miles or 42 kilometers, somewhere in that area. So he, it's like a fucking marathon. He fucking walked a marathon. How many of you could actually walk 25 miles in a day? I think I could, and I, love me some hiking and shit, so I think I could do it. My legs, my right one in particular would probably be pretty damn sore at the end of the day, but I think I could do 25 miles. I have done very close to that a time or two in my life, between 20 and 23, 22. So right around there a couple of times, it's one of those things that would be great. Like I said, love hiking, love fucking getting out. I'd love to do the Appalachian Trail someday. I would love to do maybe the PCT someday. Would love to hike the Grand Canyon rim to rim. A lot of cool hikes, beautiful things that are in the U.S. that I would love to do someday that have nothing to do with Tarrare, Domery, or their insatiable fucking crazy-ass appetites. In October 1798, the Hoche, like I had mentioned, was captured by British forces off the coast of Ireland, and Domery was taken prisoner. His appetite became the subject of fascination among his British captors, who attempted to satisfy him by increasing rations to those of 10 men. The standard daily ration for a French prisoner was 26 ounces of bread, half a pound of vegetables, and 2 ounces of butter, 6 ounces of cheese. Despite this, Domery resorted to eating rats, candles, and even prisoners' medicine when no food was available. That's so weird. He's like, I can't find anything to fucking eat. I'm going to eat these goddamn laudanum pills or tobacco pills or whatever the fuck they had back in the day. Or maybe mercury pills like we learned about last week in the Lewis and Clark episode. Just eating some weird-ass fucking medicine when no food was available. So strange. Gonna tear apart your fucking insides if you eat the wrong thing. But maybe not him though. Maybe not him. He is fucking incredible, rock solid, stainless steel, fucking diamond plated, goddamn insides. The British authorities conducted experiments to study his capacity for food. Dr. J. Johnston, a member of the commission, and Dr. Cochrane, fellow of the Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh, performed an experiment to test Domery's eating capacity and tolerance for unusual foods. Over the course of a single day, he consumed the 4 pounds of raw cow udders, 12 pounds of raw beef, 12 candles, and 4 bottles of porter. Just a little break-up description of that, without exhibiting any signs of distress. During the course of the experiment, he did not defecate, urinate, or vomit at any point. The whole day he didn't fucking urinate after drinking all... So, like, that's not good either, though. Like, what the hell's wrong with your body that you're not pissing? Especially when you're drinking alcohol. Alcohol just makes you love to pee. So what the fuck is that? His pulse remained regular, and his skin did not change temperature. By the end of the day, he remained in good spirits, smoking his pipe and dancing. He's like, this is fucking great. You guys are feeding me so much food. I'm fucking loving this tobacco. This stuff's good. Is this like a new strain of tobacco or something? I'm feeling great. Got some energy. Feeling relaxed. All this food I ate really fueling my dancing. Watch me two-step, like, what two-step? Watch me fucking 1-2 honky-tonk or something. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's doing some sort of line dancing, square dancing, hip-hop dancing, fucking break dancing. I don't know. What's fucking Domery doing? He's just classic, probably classic dancing. 1780s or whatever, 90s, whenever this was. Probably just classic ballroom, whatever, dancing. The cause of Domery's insatiable hunger remains a mystery. Some speculate he may have suffered from hyperthyroidism or a neurological condition affecting the amygdala or ventromedial nucleus, areas of the brain linked to hunger regulation. His condition was noted to be similar to that of Tarrare, another French soldier and famous for his appetite, though no autopsy was conducted to confirm any underlying cause. What became of Charles Domery after his internment remains unknown. Whether he returned to Poland or remained in Liverpool is undocumented. His story briefly resurfaced in 1852, catching the attention of Charles Dickens, who mused that Domery's public dining could have rivaled theatrical performances in popularity. Domery's bizarre case stands as a testament to the extremes of human psychology, his story continuing to captivate medical historians and the public alike. The lives of Tarrare and Domery provide a haunting glimpse into the dark extremes of human biology and survival. Their cases confounded the scientific understanding of their time and still elude modern explanation. Theories suggest possible hormonal or neurological disorders, with some scholars speculating damage to the hypothalamus or amygdala. Whatever the cause, both men became legends and reminders of the thin line between the bizarre and the monstrous. Now, Charles Domery also passed away sometime in the 1800s. No for sure date, since he was kind of lost to the shadows after he left Liverpool, or after he was done with his internment at the prison there. He was kind of off the radar after that, and maybe he didn't do any more eating shit, didn't do any more performances, not sure exactly, but he passed away in the 1800s sometime, had to have. No way he lived to 122 or whatever to make it to 1900. So after his death, we are going to head into more modern times before we hop back to the early 1700s, 1800s. When was this other dude? 1700s also. A lot of 1700s, 18th century, 19th century, a lot of weird fucking people out there doing shit. But we are going to hop into modern times right now. We are headed to 1950, and Michel Lolito we will be talking about. All right, so Michel Lolito, always... Honestly, the name Michel always reminds me of Dodgeball and fucking Ben Stiller's right-hand man, the big, huge, ripped-ass black dude that's fucking Michel and fucking destroys people. Just destroys people. Michel Lolito, also known as Monsieur Mange-Toi, or Mange-Tout, Monsieur Mange-Tout, Mr. Eat-It-All, or Mr. Eat-All, was a French entertainer born in Grenoble, France. On June 16, 1950, he was famous for his ability to consume inedible objects. His unusual eating habits and performances earned him international recognition, and his feats were certified by Guinness World Records. An extraordinarily resilient digestive system allowed him to consume up to 900 grams, nearly 2 pounds, of metal each day. Michel Lolito began eating unusual material at the age of 9, and he performed publicly beginning in 1966, around the age of 16. He had an eating disorder known as pica, which is a psychological disorder characterized by an appetite for substances that are largely non-nutritive. Doctors determined that Lotito, it's Lotito, bitch. So, pronouncing the last name wrong, I thought it was Lolito, it's Lotito. Doctors determined that Lotito had a thick lining in his stomach and intestines, which allowed him to consume sharp metal without suffering injury. Lotito also had digestive juices that were unusually powerful, meaning that he could digest the unusual materials. Soft foods, such as bananas, gave him heartburn, specifically when he had metal in his stomach. And I'm pretty sure this man hated bananas, because they gave him heartburn like all the time, but specifically when he ate metal. Lotito was known for eating items such as glass, metal, rubber, and other non-food objects. Some of his most notable meals include bicycles, shopping carts, televisions, chandeliers, and a small aircraft, a Cessna 150, which he consumed over the period of 2 years, from 1978 to 1980. Like, holy fuck, why do you want to eat that much metal? Why? What about it looks good? Like I said, shiny shit look good to you? You an invalid in your mind or something? Like, what the hell is happening here that makes you want to eat so much metal? Like, a little bit. Like, as a little kid, I used to, like, suck on fucking change or whatever, and almost choked on a goddamn nickel or some shit at some point. Anyway, sure, maybe as a little child, you want to eat the shiny fucking, it looks good, it seems like it would taste all right. As an adult, what the fuck is wrong with you? What's happening? Lotito would break down objects into smaller, manageable pieces and consume them along with mineral oil to aid digestion. He drank large amounts of water and mineral oil to help him wash down the objects. Lotito's stomach and intestines were unusually thick and resilient, allowing him to digest sharp and potentially harmful materials without injury. He also had diminished ability to taste, which may have contributed to his tolerance for such objects. So he couldn't even taste them, so he's like, yeah, I can't even taste the metal, rusty grossness of this, so what's it matter to me? It all goes down the same. Lotito claimed to not suffer any ill effects from his consumption of substances typically considered poisonous. When performing, he ingested approximately 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds, of material daily, preceding it with mineral oil and drinking considerable amounts of water during the meal. It is estimated that between 1959 and 1997, Lotito had nearly eaten 9 tons of metal. 18,000 pounds of metal is 9 tons. Holy dog shit. Jesus Christ. It blows my mind, but it's like in such a way, it's like I can't comprehend why someone would want to do this, even with an eating disorder that makes you want to eat weird shit. Like you see my strange addiction or whatever, people eating fucking concrete and whatever. A lot of those people probably have pica, you know? They want to eat weird, non-nutritive kind of fucking items. But 18,000 pounds of metal, like, whoo, my mind just gone, blown so many different ways doing this episode. Lotito began performing his unusual talent in the 1960s and continued throughout his life. He gained fame as a sideshow performer, appearing on television shows and at world events. Michel Lolito was awarded a Guinness World Record for strangest diet due to his ability to consume inedible objects. He would go on to eat the plaque that he was awarded by Guinness. He said, I don't give a shit. I don't need anyone to fucking see this thing. I don't need to display this anywhere. The best way to show my fucking strange diet is to eat this plaque that you gave me, awarding me for my strange diet. Sounds good. Great for you, Michel. Despite his unusual diet, Lotito reportedly ate regular food as well, although his meals of inedible objects were his claim to fame. He lived a relatively healthy life and passed away in 2006 at the age of 55 from natural causes, apparently unrelated to his eating habits. I, somewhat believe that. I also somewhat believe that ingesting 18,000 pounds of metal over the course of 30 years might just, I guess 40 years, but still, 35, 40 years, might just fucking destroy your insides a little bit too, even if your insides are made of fucking diamonds. I still think they might get a couple chips in there. A couple of little dings, dents, something. Something might happen, I don't know. What started as a simple party trick soon turned into a lucrative career. In addition to eating unusual objects, his high pain threshold meant that Lolito also allowed audiences to light matches under his fingernails and throw darts into his back. This man is just psychotic. He's like, yo, I can't feel anything, so why don't you burn the shit out of my fingers and throw darts into my back? It don't matter to me. You never know what could happen. If you fucking have one that's long enough, maybe it'll pierce my spine and I can, just be finished with this life. Shit. He was paid nearly $1,000 per day, as reported by the Madison Courier in 1980, which is over $4,000 today. Over $4,000 per day to act as this sideshow piece, this crazy fucking dude taking all these darts in his back and eating metal, eating an airplane while he gets darts thrown at his back. I wonder if they drew like a target on his back, like they had a bullseye target on his back, right dead center, right in the middle of the spine. See if you can hit the fucking bullseye in the dead center. Lolito's first appearance in Guinness World Records came in 1979 when he was recognized for consuming a bicycle in record time, 15 days between March 17th and the 2nd of April 1977. A year later, he broke his own record, taking 12 days to eat over 15 pounds of bicycle. As side dishes, he also ate 100 razor blades. This man... Why? Why are you doing this to yourself? 2 plates and a glass, as reported by the Leader Post. During the fair where this took place, Lolito also bent coins with his teeth and submitted to having his arms squeezed by giant pairs of pliers held by 8 men. Why? They're going to break your fucking arm. Like, what? Why? What's happening here? Anyone out there, do you want darts thrown in your back? Do you want your arms squeezed by gigantic pliers, 8 men squeezing those pliers? Do you want to consume bicycles and airplanes, the metal from those? Anyone at all? He was paid $5,000 by the organizers, around $20,250 nowadays. Lolito's bicycle eating achievement was listed in the 1979 World Records book alongside other speed eating records, or gluttony records as they were called at the time. Despite not normally publishing potentially dangerous records, such as those involving the consumption of live ants, chewing gum, or raw eggs with shells, an exception was made for the eating of a bicycle because it was unlikely to attract competition. Lolito famously went on to eat a small plane next, taking 2 years in total to do so. Piece by piece, Lolito ate an entire Cessna 150 airplane between 1978 and 1980. A few years on, in Guinness Book of World Records, 1984, Lolito was noted to have consumed a supermarket trolley and 7 TV sets, in addition to the bicycles and low-calorie Cessna, quote-unquote, low-calorie Cessna, he had previously been recognized for. By 1999, Lolito had eaten 18 bicycles. Fucking why? Furthermore, he had consumed 15 supermarket trolleys, supermarket carts, if anyone's wondering, they're little, shopping carts, 6 chandeliers, 2 beds, a pair of skis, a computer, and a coffin, including the handles. Why? So many whys. Just the only thing that pops in my head the entire time I'm reading through this is just why. Why? A whole list of items that he consumed, or at least, a good, unusual list of items that he consumed includes 45 door hinges, 18 bicycles, 15 shopping carts, 7 TV sets, 6 chandeliers, 2 beds, 1 pair of skis, 1 computer, 1 copy of the textbook Gravitation by Mincer, Thorne, and Wheeler, 1 Cessna 150 light aircraft, 1 waterbed full of water, 500 meters of steel chain at one time, 1,600 feet of steel chain in one sitting. What the fuck? Where does that even go? Where the fuck does that even store in your stomach, inside your body? 1,600 feet of chain, 500? What the fuck? Holy dog. Shit. Fuck. One coffin with handles, one Guinness Award plaque, assorted razors, and bolts. There's a video of this man talking with a reporter, and he's just sitting there eating a bowl of fucking metal shavings. Just spoonfuls. Spoonfuls, he's just eating it. He's sitting at this fucking event, this little fair, this little whatever the fuck he's at. And just crazy, just eating fucking metal. Lolito's performances showcased a unique blend of curiosity, entertainment, and psychological anomaly, making him one of the most extraordinary individuals in the realm of human oddities. Michel Lolito would pass in April of 2006 at the age of 55, as I had mentioned. He is now passed away, and we will move on to our final individual with an insatiable appetite, a man named Jacques de Falaise. Falaise? Shit. A man named Jacques de Falaise. Jacques de Falaise, born Jacques Simon in 1754, was a French quarryman who gained fame in the early 19th century for his extraordinary, albeit unsettling, ability to ingest a wide variety of objects. Known for his polyphagic experiments, Jacques captivated audiences by consuming items such as hard-boiled eggs with the shells on, pipes, watches, flowers, and even live animals like sparrows and eels. So he is eating birds, too. I don't think Tarrare ever ate birds, or Domery. I didn't see any birds in there, but this motherfucker's eating birds. His brief but infamous career in the performing arts ultimately ended in tragedy. Jacques' rise to notoriety began in 1816 when he was recruited by the renowned Parisian magician and ventriloquist Louis Comte. Comte? C-O-M-T-E. Performing at Comte's theater under the stage name Jacques de Falaise, he stunned audiences by swallowing an array of bizarre objects with apparent ease. His repertoire included coins, glassware, live creatures, and even swords, demonstrating a daring act inspired by Indian jugglers who had performed similar feats in Paris earlier that year. Before his theatrical career, Jacques was a quarryman in Montmartre, where his robust health and significant physical strength were noted. Accounts of how he discovered his unusual talent vary. Some suggest it was an impromptu act during a drinking game, while others described an incident involving the accidental swallowing of a bird. I'm guessing it was a drinking game. Probably hammered. Hey, I bet you couldn't fucking eat this. I could eat anything. Do it then, you fucking pussy. And Jacques does it. Don't think that he accidentally swallowed a fucking bird. I would love to see it, but I don't, unless it's like a little tiny fucking hummingbird or some shit. It'd have to be a small ass bird to accidentally swallow that shit. Regardless of the origins, Jacques embraced his talents and turned it into a spectacle, though at great personal cost. While Jacques' performances thrilled spectators, his health began to deteriorate due to the strain of his stunts. He suffered multiple bouts of gastroenteritis and other complications from ingesting indigestible and hazardous materials. So he wasn't no Michel Lolito, couldn't fucking just digest a whole Cessna airplane without having health problems. Bitch ass fucking Jacques. Stupid. His earnings were further diminished after being defrauded during a tour in Bordeaux. Despite receiving medical treatment and warnings to cease his performances, Jacques persisted until poor health forced him to retire. In his final years, Jacques found work as a hospital orderly, but struggled with declining health and despair. On March 30th, 1825, he tragically ended his life by hanging. His autopsy, conducted by Dr. Baudet and others, revealed no extraordinary anatomical traits to explain his abilities, concluding instead that his performances stemmed from a desire for fame rather than an unnatural appetite. So yeah, unlike Tarrare, Charles Domery, and Michel Lolito, Jacques didn't really have pica or polyphagia or anything. He didn't have an eating disorder. He just was looking to be a street performer. He found something he could do that not everyone could do, and he started doing that a lot. And it took a huge, huge toll on his health, both physically and mentally. And obviously, he ended up taking his own life in 1825. So, crazy, crazy story. Jacques de Falaise is remembered as an early pioneer of the circus maricistes, individuals who perform daring or grotesque feats involving ingestion. His story is a cautionary tale about the pursuit of spectacle at the expense of health and well-being, leaving behind a legacy both fascinating and sobering. Jacques de Falaise never regurgitated what he had swallowed. His polyphagia, quote-unquote, was not the result of any physical anomaly, but a deliberate and habitual practice. This has led to Jacques de Falaise being regarded as the forefather of a circus and music hall act known as the maricistes. Among the notable performers in this unique specialty were Mac Norton, born Claude Louis Dallaire, also known as the Aquarium Man, associated with the Rancy Circus, I almost said Randy Circus. He was famous for his exceptional control over his stomach, earning him the title the Ideal Stomach. Colette mentioned him in her journal, noting his remarkable talent. Initially a singer, Mac Norton transitioned into this act under the influence of his friend, Le Patomain. Le Patomain. He would swallow live frogs and fish, hold conversations with the audience, and then regurgitate the creatures unharmed. Holy hell. God damn, I feel so bad for those frogs and those fishes. Geez. Just hanging out in this fucking dude's stomach or his esophagus or wherever the fuck it is. Whew. Sometimes he would regurgitate these creatures as long as 2 hours later. He claimed one particular frog, an elder among them, calmed the others, and always emerged last. Harry Houdini once recounted seeing Norton visibly distressed, fearing he had accidentally digested one of his frogs alive. He's like distraught. He's like, shit. And Harry Houdini's like, man, what's wrong? What's going on, Mac? What can I do for you? He's like, bro, one of the frogs didn't come back up. I think he's dead. I think he's gone, Harry. He was alive in there. He's dead now. He died. He fucking was digested alive. Holy shit. Roginski, who performed at the Madrano Circus in 1921, had an act that included swallowing 24 hazelnuts, shells and all. Holy jeez. On command, he would regurgitate any specific number of hazelnuts requested. So he's like, throw me a number. And they're like, 9. And he just fucking pukes out 9 fucking hazelnuts. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. He also swallowed live goldfish and retrieved them unharmed. Roginski's show-stopping feat, though, involved swallowing banknotes wrapped in small rubber bags and returning them in the precise order he swallowed them, never failing or disappointing his audience. Haji Ali, known as the Egyptian Enigma, was a music hall performer of Egyptian origin, born around 1890. According to legend, he discovered his talent while swimming in the Nile, where he accidentally swallowed and later regurgitated a live fish. His act included swallowing live fish, watches, lit cigarettes, and handkerchiefs, all of which he could return in the desired order. A particularly dramatic part of his performance involved swallowing kerosene to spit flames and ignite a miniature castle, which he then extinguished by regurgitating water. Crazy. He's like, let me drink some water, let me drink some kerosene, let me spit some flames to light this castle on fire, and then let me puke the water back out, regurgitate the water to put out the flame. Like, what a weirdo. And finally, Chaz Chase, famously called the Cigar Eater, had a reputation for consuming anything he could get his hands on, including lit cigars, flowers, paper, and even cutlery. A contemporary of icons like Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin, Chaz began his career in the early days of cinema. Later in life, he enjoyed a second wave of success in Europe, performing at prestigious venues such as the Crazy Horse Saloon, the Folies Bergère, and the Olympia. By his late 70s, Chaz was performing in smaller cabarets in the United States and retirement homes for wealthy Americans in Monte Carlo. All right, with that, we are headed towards the final takeaways, but let's first look at today's main marks. Number 1, Tarrare is believed to have once tried to eat a small child, a 1-year-old, and after eating that child, disposing of his bones in the hospital dumpsters, which he often perused for trash scraps, meat scraps, and other pieces of things he could eat. Number 2, Charles Domery was believed to have eaten an astonishing 174 cats in 1 year. Every other day, this motherfucker's eating a cat, and I feel fucking horrible for him. Holy shit. What'd those cats ever do to you, Charles? Why do you hate pussy so much? What's wrong with you? Jeez. Number 3. Same dude. Charles Domery would eat 4 to 5 pounds of grass if he could not find other food. He said, I'm fucking chilling with the livestock. I'm going to go eat grass and have a good time. Fucking psychopath. All right. Number 4, Michel Lolito would eat items such as bicycles, shopping carts, and even a small airplane, a Cessna 150, throughout his lifetime, consuming an estimated 18,000 pounds of metal. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Come on. Jeez. All right. Number 5. The same man, Michel Lolito, would be awarded a Guinness World Record for strangest diet. And then he would go on to eat his Guinness Award plaque. Because what else are you going to do with it? And number 6, new information. All right, so new information, number 6. Pica is a mental health disorder that causes people to eat strange items and non-nutritive items, and affects you less and less as you age. It is said to be present in up to 50% of children 18 to 36 months. In up to 5% of youth aged 7 to 14 experience recurrent pica behaviors, and only approximately 1.1% of adults experience recurrent pica behaviors after their 18th birthday, so 18 plus. That still puts it at like something like 2 or 3 million people in the United States that have pica-related issues, pica problems, as you could call them, I guess. But pica, something that makes you eat weird shit, pica associated with polyphagia, if they are, acting together in a person, if both disorders are coming together. Polyphagia is the feeling of extreme and insatiable hunger, as Tarrare, Charles Domery had, as Lolito didn't exactly have. I think he had more of the pica going on than polyphagia, but there's other ones like Jock who just wanted to be a sideshow piece, and he just ate shit to eat shit because he could entertain people by eating it. So a list of different disorders, a couple things that affect people, and let's hop into today's final takeaways. The extraordinary stories of Tarrare, Charles Domery, Michel Lolito, and Jacques Desfilets offer a chilling glimpse into the extremes of human physiology, obsession, and survival. Whether driven by an uncontrollable hunger or a desire to entertain, these men transcended the boundaries of what was once thought possible for the human body. Their bizarre abilities, while often awe-inspiring, raise unsettling questions about the limits of the human condition and the darkness lurking within. From eating unimaginable amounts of food to consuming dangerous and inedible objects, these figures remain some of the most fascinating and unsettling anomalies in history. Their legacies persist, not just as curiously grotesque spectacles, but also as enduring mysteries that continue to confound modern science. Was their behavior purely biological, the result of neurological or hormonal dysfunctions? Or did other factors, including psychology and environment, play a role in shaping their peculiarities? While the answers may never fully materialize, these tales serve as a haunting reminder of the lengths the human body can go in its quest for sustenance, survival, or even fame. And so, the stories of these men, forever etched in the annals of human oddities, invite us to ponder the nature of hunger, the human psyche, and the macabre fascination with the extreme. Thank you for joining me today on this deep dive into the bizarre and fascinating world of insatiable appetites. From the extraordinary endurance of Jacques Desfilets to the astonishing cases of Tarrare, Charles Domery, and Michel Lolito, these individuals pushed the boundaries of human consumption and left us questioning the true extent of the human body's capabilities. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your family, friends, strangers, the person that you talk to next, just anyone really. I appreciate you spreading the word, spreading the shadows. Tell everyone about it. I like I said, I appreciate it. You all mean the fucking most to me. Go rate and review the show. Give it 5 stars. Tell me something about yourself. Tell me the weirdest thing you've ever eaten in your life. And stop back each week for more tales of the strange, mysterious, and macabre. Be sure to follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at Beneath the Shadows Podcast, and on Patreon at Beneath the Shadows for bonus content every other week, including exclusive shorter episodes released every 2 weeks, like I had mentioned. Those episodes are usually 15 to 20 minutes long. The most recent Patreon episode just dropped this week and is about the Spaghetti House siege. The next one will be about mystery at this point. TBD, to be determined. But the most recent one about the 1975 botched robbery of the Spaghetti House in London. Go and check that one out on Patreon. It's also a bonus episode any of your streaming platforms, so go check that one out. Looking ahead, join me next week as we explore the horrifying legacy of Elizabeth Báthory. Battery? I think it's Battery. Báthory. Elizabeth Báthory, the infamous Blood Countess. Known for her cruelty and accused of countless atrocities, her story weaves together history, power, and horror in a way that will leave you captivated. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and always keep looking beneath the shadows. Wow.